Santa Barbara County Courthouse is the centerpiece of Santa Barbara's Spanish Revival style. Courthouse construction started in 1926 and took just short of 3 years to build. In 1929, the year it was finished, it was dedicated during Santa Barbara's annual fiesta. In 1982, the structure was listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Later that same year, the site and building were designated city landmarks. In 2004, it became a state historic landmark, and in May 2005, it became a national historic landmark. During 1850, California became the 31st state admitted to the Union. Santa Barbara became county seat and courts and county offices were needed. In 1855, the county purchased the Adobe Mercantile Store of John Kay's and made it the first county courthouse on the present site. County officials over the years became displeased with the undistinguished adobe building, which symbolized the frontier. The building was also becoming too small for the emerging county government. By 1873, Santa Barbara had a new county courthouse built in the Greek Revival style. The entrance facade featured columns, a pediment, and was raised above the surrounding ground 5 or 6 feet. By 1891, the courthouse building became too small, so a new Hall of Records in the Queen Anne style was built next to the courthouse. By the 20th century, both of these buildings became inadequate in size. During this same time frame, there was a continued loss of Santa Barbara's Spanish heritage. Few Spanish-Mexican period adobe structures remained, and those that did were in desperate need of help. A renewed interest in the Spanish colonial revival style was sparked by the 1915 Pan-Pacific Exposition that took on the Spanish colonial revival style for the buildings constructed for the exposition. In 1919, the county sponsored an architectural competition for the design of a new courthouse. 4 entries were selected as finalists, but financially, the county was not ready to build a new courthouse. On the 29th of June in 1925, an earthquake struck Santa Barbara that left the 1875 courthouse badly damaged. 4 days after the earthquake, the County Board of Supervisors hired San Francisco architectural firm of William Mooser Company, which had been a finalist in the 1919 competition, to plan and build a new courthouse. The board specified that the building be Spanish Andalusian style. William Mooser II was the head of the firm, and his son William Mooser III, who was also an architect, was in charge of the supervision of the project. He had studied at the École des Beaux-Arts in Paris and had lived in Italy and Spain for several years. By September of 1925, the Architectural Advisory Committee and Architectural Board of Review were not pleased with Mooser's plan and its adherence to the requested style. J. Wilmer Hershey, a member of the Community Drafting Room, was asked to make drawings for a modified design. Hershey's sketches became the basis of the new and accepted courthouse design. In June 1926, a $700,000 bond issue was passed by the voters towards the building of a new courthouse estimated to cost about $900,000. Construction began in October of 1926. A San Francisco company supplied the steel framing. The courthouse was finished in March of 1929 and was dedicated on August 14th of 1929, 2 months before the stock market crash. It was fortunate for the county of Santa Barbara that oil was discovered in 1928 at Elwood, a few miles west of Santa Barbara. An oil tax revenue paid for the difference between the $900,000 original estimated cost of the building and its actual cost upon completion. This county courthouse was called the grandest Spanish colonial revival building anywhere by famed architect Charles W. Moore. The courthouse is composed of 4 buildings totaling 150,000 square feet, beginning with the Hall of Records and moving across the property towards Figueroa Street. The service annex is next, connected to the main building by the triumphant archway and finally turning the corner towards Santa Barbara Street with the lawyer's entrance. The last building in the complex is the jail, the East Wing, comprised of 6 floors of 1920s vintage jail cells. Visitors may take elevators to the summit of the 85-foot El Mirador clock tower. At the top, one will find beautiful 360-degree views of Santa Barbara. The main entrance to the courthouse features a large facade depicting two enthroned figures. Between the figures is an inscription of a Spanish translation of a quote from Marcus Terentius Varro. The equivalent English translation is found on the door to the right. God gave us the country, the skill of man hath built the town. Cast stone was used throughout the courthouse that was made from fine cement and poured into a mold. The decorative cement work on the turret of the jail tower is cast stone, as well as corbels, water drains, cartouches, finials, window frames, grills, and sills. To the upper left of the arch on the sunken garden facade of the courtroom's building is a large cast stone rose window, which lights the second-floor lobby. To the left of the rose window is a loggia. The loggia has segmented arches. Occupying an entire city block, the grounds contain a collection of palms and specimen trees from more than 25 countries. The courthouse hosts many events, particularly in the sunken gardens. Behind the four faces of the courthouse's clock tower resides the largest model of a weight-driven Seth Thomas tower clock. Installed in 1929, it still ticks away in its original site and condition while releasing the hammers to the bells on the quarter hour. Surrounding the clock are marvelous murals depicting the chronicle of mankind's landmarks in timekeeping since ancient times, while above shine the exact constellations in the sky when Santa Barbara obtained its name in 1602. Some of the decorations throughout the building are colorful murals depicting scenes from Santa Barbara's history. There are hand-wrought iron railings, chains, door handles, lamps, and colored lights that embellish the building. Much of the tile and terracotta work were created at Gladding McBean, a California tile company. The only tiles that were imported were the black and white tiles throughout the courthouse and came from a family-run company in France. The former Board of Supervisors hearing room, now known as the Mural Room, hosts 4,200 square feet of hand-painted murals depicting scenes from the Spanish colonial era. Recently, a big restoration project of the Mural Room was completed. The courthouse is also home to a fully functioning law library, which is open to the public. The law library is done in a contrasting English style, which is believed to be because we have an English law system. All the lighting fixtures throughout the courthouse were custom designed and are different in every hallway. I really encourage you to see this magnificent detailed structure for yourself. Tours are held Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. and daily at 2 p.m. and are free to the public. Like architect Charles W. Moore stated, this courthouse is truly the grandest colonial revival building.